Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. There's a huge exposition that has just taken place coming from the independent corrupt practices and other related offenses, and it has to do with the school feeding of Nigerian students. School feeding, they've been talking so much about it, and the ICPC had opened up some deep secret, and according to them, they say that about 2.67 billion naira has been confiscated by some personal account. In other words, that that particular amount, 2.67 billion naira, that was paid to some federal colleges for school feeding during the COVID-19 lockdown, ended up in private bank accounts. It's really shocking. The ICPC chairman, Bl0w, made this disclosure in his keynote address at the second National Summit on Diminishing Corruption. The summit theme, Together Against Corruption and launch of the National Ethics and Integrity Policy, was held at the Council Chamber of the Presidential Villa, Abuja on Monday. The federal government had said it spent over 500 million naira to feed school children during the lockdown. Bl0w said under Open Treasury Portal review carried out from January to August 15, out of 268 ministry, departments and agency MDRAs, 72 of them had cumulative infractions of 90 million naira. According to him, while 33 MDAs gave explanation that 4.1 billion naira was transferred to sub-TSA, 4.2 billion paid to individuals had no satisfactory explanation. According to him, he said, we observed that transfers to sub-TSA was to prevent disbursement from being monitored. Nevertheless, we discovered payments to some federal colleges for school feeding in the sum of 2.67 billion naira during lockdown when the children are not in school, and some of the money ended up in personal accounts. We have commenced investigation into these findings. The ICPC chairman said under its 2020 constituency and executive project tracking initiative, 722 projects with a threshold of 100 million naira were tracked across 16 states. He said a number of projects described as ongoing in the budget were found to be new projects that ought to have been excluded so as to enable the government to complete existing projects. According to Bl0w, the agency also discovered over 2.5 billion naira appropriated by a deceased senior civil servant in the Ministry of Agriculture for himself while in office. On asset recovery, he said the commission recovered 16 billion naira from the Ministry of Agriculture paid into individual accounts for non-official purposes. He listed other asset recovery in the ministry to include 18 buildings, 12 business premises, and 25 plots of land. Wow. One of the top agenda of this current administration, we all know, was to fight corruption. But what we are seeing right now, it's really shocking. I'm telling you the whole truth. And guess what? Nigerians have decided to react to it. And most people are so angry at what is ongoing, and they are even telling the current administration, Buhari-led administration, to apologize to people like Diazani, Madweke. They should apologize to other persons that have been indicted, because a lot of so-called ministers and cabinet members of this administration have been involved in a far higher corruption than we've ever seen in the past administration. And guess what? It's troubling. I'm telling you the whole truth. And that's why oftentimes when we try to throw the blame at the people who are at the head, I said, no, don't throw the blame at Buhari. Yes, his own duty was to appoint people to man those positions. But unfortunately, as I did say before now, corruption seems to be running in our bloodstream, such that everyone who have an opportunity to lead, whether it is a woman, whether it is a man, all what we see is looting galore. Anyone who have an opportunity to lead, what they do is to begin to loot mercilessly. They don't care what the country is turning out to, whether we are borrowing the money or we're not borrowing the money, whether it is taxpayers' money, whether those monies are gotten, to save life, whether those responsibility given to them is meant to save. They don't care. All what they know is we've got to loot. And that's why it's important to realize this singular truth, that actually the change needs to start from us as individuals. The next administration will be coming. Guess what? I can assure you 100%, except the administration decide to hunt people down, I tell you the whole truth that the corruption in the next administration will be worse than this one. I mean, this is really shocking. We were trusting a place like EFCC, though we've not gotten the report. But before we know, the EFCC boss was called upon to answer some questions, which up till today, Nigerians are still waiting for that report. It has not been produced. Don't forget that before now, the presidency had demanded, given Salami-led investigators, 45 days. I think by now the 45 days has elapsed, We've not yet seen any report coming forth. Instead, I'm seeing some other funny things, some grapevine people say that Salami himself is even not happy with himself, why he should allow himself to be used during this whole process, because possibly the man, what his ears are hearing right now is really shocking, and possibly some persons may want to bane him the way they feel like baning. I mean, these things are really absolutely so wrong. I tell you the whole truth. Why would people be so heartless? 2.67 billion naira meant for school feeding when the children were not there, now ended up in private accounts. And that's why Nigerians have been suggesting this particular thing. And what's that? Nigerians have been suggesting there should be a very stringent punishment for those involved in corruption at every level. Whether it is in the ministry level, whether it is agency level, federal level, whether you are a senator or not, they should be punished severely, because that's the only thing that will stop certain people from getting involved in this. This is really terrible. I tell you the truth. Look at the country borrowing on a daily basis. Today, Nigeria, I read in one news that Nigeria is, of all the countries that have borrowed from China, we are the ones that have borrowed the most from China. Now, despite all this borrowing, people are still there trying to steal to enrich their pocket. You want to be richer than Nigeria? Why don't you go get a company for yourself and begin to work your ass out? Like people, owners of Google, owners of different companies in abroad. They work, they sit down, they crack their brains, they bring up ideas that is global, that is affecting the globe, that have global influence. And they are generating good money out of it. You feel that, you want to be richer than everybody, go get a personal job that you enrich yourself, not to sit back in a country that is struggling to survive, and you are stealing. I pray that ICPC will not sleep. They will go after these people. And I also hope that even the presidency will give this anti-graft commission the right to go after any kind of person. Whether the person is your favorite, whether it is not your favorite, allow them to go hunting him, even starting from the head. Because if someone like me, I would say even from me, presidency, started my vice president, also let him also be scrutinized. Whoever that is found wanting should be dealt with. At least if you look at the manifesto of this present administration, what the topmost in the list of things that they promised Nigeria was to fight corruption to its knee. But today we are seeing it scaling new height. Corruption in this particular regime is scaling new height. Before now, we are talking about they're eating some millions and all of that. Today, we are not talking about even hundreds of millions. We are talking about billions in the shortest possible time. Look at what the ICPC chairman said. Within a period, they had to just had to examine, the spending in a short period, like from January 1st to August 15. What was realized? 2.something billion naira has been eaten by one singular person. By several people. You just realize that every way when it comes to Nigeria, and money is being dropped down, you see networking. Networking will start. People will start networking themselves. This one will throw the money here, throw the money, they blow, the money is blown, like that and like that. It's no more interesting. I think that this administration, I thank Buhari for what he has done thus far in terms of fighting corruption in this country. But let's be so specific about this whole thing. If you're fighting corruption and it's getting worse than when you came in, therefore means that your best is not good enough. You need to wake up and ensure that even if you can't leave any legacy, let it be written about you that when you were in position of leadership, you were able to give Nigeria one of the best when it comes to fighting corruption. Yahoo boys, how much are those guys eating? Every day, and today EFCC will come out with publication. 5 Yahoo boys have been picked. They collected laptops from them, and that is nonsense. If we really want to fight the Yahoo boys, they are right inside this current administration cabinet. We should begin to fight them. Those are the main people that should be fought. For me personally, I feel that some of this anti-graft commission should have an office in virtually all the ministry. And they should be the people that are involved in the internal control of all the ministries and all the agencies of all the MDAs. They should have an office there and be in charge of the audit and also the internal control. Because this thing is really getting out of hand. Nigerians are tired. Every day we keep on hearing news that bleeds our heart. And we begin to wonder if these guys do not even have a feeling. However, sorry, I just have to react this way because it's really painful. People are suffering. Look at the Northerners. Those guys are suffering real good. People are being killed on a daily, but another person will sit crossing his leg and be sucking money out of the system as if he doesn't understand that this country is going down the drain on a daily basis. We'd like to leave it there. Please just go to our comment section. Let's interact. What do you think should be done to all these big thieves that are